Today in science we are learning all about a scientist called Alan Turing, okay, and he was born in 1912 and he died in 1954. So Alan Turing had just been announced as the new £50 face of the new £50 note. So his face is on the new £50 note. But who was he? And today we're going to learn who he was. He is a British mathematician, which means he does lots of maths, and a scientist. And he is a Second World War code breaker, so he breaks codes. So people write messages and codes if they don't want them to, if they got a secret or something, and he breaks these codes. So he's very clever. So in Alan's early life, he was born on the 23rd of June 1912. His parents worked and lived in India, so Alan and his brother John were looked after by their family friends while their parents were abroad in India. Alan was a clever child and he was fascinated by puzzles and challenges. So he loves puzzles and challenges even when he was young. When he was a teenager, he went to boarding school, which means that he stayed at school and he stayed overnight at school on the weekdays, and the weekends sometimes he went home. His teachers were amazed to find that he could understand maths and science ideas that many older children, even adults, found difficult. So he could understand maths and science ideas that even some adults found difficult. So he really is very, very clever. So things like this. So like a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And things like this, which, to be honest, I'm not even sure how to read. A equals pi r squared. So things like that. After leaving work, Turing went to Cambridge University, which is that and Oxford are the two most famous universities, to study maths. After he finished at university, he spent years inventing a universal machine. Ooh, I wonder what this machine did. Let's see if we can find out. This machine was able to read simple codes, and it was an early version of a computer. So he invented a really, really early version of a computer. And this code looks like this. It's got ones and zeros, and it means something. During the Second World War, so in 1939 to 1945, Turing worked at Bletchley Park, which is not too far away from here, the home of the Government Code and Cipher School. So he worked at Bletchley Park, where they used to try and break codes. Turing and his team were able to work out the meaning of a secret messages that were sent by the enemy by decoding them. So he worked out what these secret messages meant. This meant he was able to work out when and where the enemy was planning to attack, which is really important if you know beforehand, because if in Second World War the Germans were planning to attack England, and if he warned the government, then they could make sure that all the people and everyone were to safety, or they could attack them first. He passed the information on so that the army could prepare. So it meant that instead of being surprised about any attacks, that the government and the army knew so they could prepare, which is really, really important. Did you know that without Turing's code-breaking knowledge, the war could have lasted much longer? So because he broke the codes, the German codes, he basically stopped. The British could tell the army, and he helped stop the war much quicker. Turing was awarded an OBE, the Order of the British Empire, which is this medal, in 1946, which is a really, really, it says Order of the British Empire. It's an honour to receive this medal. Not many people do. He died on the 7th of June 1954, and he will be remembered as someone who saved millions of lives with his work. So not only was he a mathematician, a scientist, but because of his code breaking, he saved millions and millions of lives. Now we are going to fill in the gaps here, and just to go through the words which are in the box, these are the words that you're putting in the sentences. The word enigma, which is a type of code, World War II, what II, computing, and cipher. Remember, cipher is just another word for code. So Alan Turing came up with the idea of a universal something machine. During some period of time, Turing worked to break the German something like the, and then it gives you a clue here because it's got a capital E at the start of the word. So this word is going to be enigma. So the enigma is just the name of a very special code. Now, during World War II is a time, so we're going to put World War II here. And then remember, the word cipher just means code. So I'm going to leave the last two for you to do and see if you can do them again. Okay. So remember, cipher just means is just another word for code. So let's see if we can break this code together. This is really fun. I used to love doing stuff like this when I was younger. So here we go. Can we break the code? So these numbers mean letters. So 1 is ah. The second one is 18. 18 is er. 5 is eh. Okay, pause the video now and see if you can work out the rest of the code. Pause it now. Did you work out what the code is? Oh, I'm going to see if I can work it out now and see if we're correct. So 25, the third word's are. 25 is ya. 15 is are. 21 is are you. Okay, and the next one are you a, I wonder what the last word is. 19 is s. 16 is p. And 25 is yeah. Are you a spy? That's what the code says. Did you get it right? If you didn't, that's fine. If you did, well done. So what you're going to do is you're going to see if you can create your own code. So last time in the code we had A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, D is 4, E is 5, all the way up to 25. So in your booklet, see if you can write the alphabet like this and underneath write the numbers. So here we go. I've put all the numbers in under the letters. So this is what your page should look like. And now I'm going to come up with a code for you guys to break. And remember, you can also come up with your own code. So here is my code. I've got 23, 5, 12, 12, and I've put a comma between each number. Then I've left a space because this is a new word. 4, 15, 14, 5, 19, 5, 21, 19, 19, 3, 12, 1, 19, 19. So see if you can crack that code. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I want to see if you can crack my code. And if you crack the code, you can write it in the messages or write it on the paper. So, and the last thing we're going to do today is you're going to do your quiz, exit quiz. So who is Alan Turing? And don't worry if you get the question wrong, it doesn't matter. So Alan Turing was famous for robbing banks, being a doctor, or breaking codes. When did Alan Turing become a code breaker? World War I, World War II, or 1812? And fill the gap. Alan Turing came up with the idea of a universal something machine, a typing machine, gaming machine, or computing machine. So that is your science for today. And there's one last job. So what you have to do is you have to go back to the front of your book and we're going to read the question today. Who is Alan Turing and what is he famous for? So we learned today what a code breaker is and why was it so important during World War II. So if you think you really understood the lesson, you could do the really smiley face. If you think you understood the lesson, but there was a few bits you weren't sure of, you could colour this one in. If you think, oh, that was really tricky, you could colour this in. And if you think that that was really, really tricky and you didn't understand, then you could colour this in. And remember, it doesn't matter which one you colour in as long as you're honest. So I think that I'm going to colour in this one because I think I know a lot about World War II because I did it when I was at school. I understand he helped break codes, but there was a few words like enigma and cipher which confused me a little bit. So I'm going to colour that one in today. So make sure you take a picture of your work and upload it to Google Classrooms, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.